Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 1 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the Blair County Commissioners meeting set for January 9th, 2024. And I'd like to start off with a moment of silence, please. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nicole, can we do a roll call?
Sure thing. We do have a few folks joining us by phone. If you could state your name for the record, please. And it is *6 to
Sarah.
unmute. Oh, go ahead.
Sarah Seymour, elections.
Thank you, Sarah.
Sue Ammerman, 911.
Thank you, Sue.
Linda Illig, social services.
Thank you, Trina. Is there anyone else joining us remotely at this time? Not hearing anyone else, so that is roll.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Commissioner meeting minutes 12/19/23, 12/21/23, 12/26/23, and 12/28/23.
I will make that motion. Thank you.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approval of organizational meeting minutes of 1/2/24. Have a motion for that, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This time we'll open up the meeting to public comment. Is there any public comment? Everyone looks at you, Kay. Okay, we'll go into commissioners' comments. If Laura has comment.
I do. I actually have two topics I wanted to talk about today. The first is trying to decide which order to do that in. I'm sorry. First, I would like to recognize Angela Wagner, Deputy Controller, who's here. She just gave me a look, but tomorrow is her last day with the county, and I did want to share just how grateful we are to her for her services. She began here in June 2016 and was instrumental in implementing what we call our Munis software, which helps us track every single penny of taxpayer dollars. Without that, I can't imagine what it would have been like to work here in the departments that deal with finance. I personally don't always appreciate or understand Munis, but I know we're way better off with it than without. So it's important that we thank Angela for that, for all of her hard work over these years. We are happy for her that she's going on to do bigger and better things, but we will definitely miss her, and the county as a whole is better off because of her time here. So thank you, Angela. Second, the assessment office did ask me to share that open enrollment for homestead and farmstead exclusions is currently happening. Interested homeowners need to send their applications in by March 1st. They can be postmarked on March 1st and still be counting. So if you have already enrolled, you do not need to do anything. If you are not sure if you are enrolled, please call the assessment office to ask and confirm instead of just sending in another application, because that does sometimes lead to confusion. So their office number is 693-3110. And this exclusion gives you a credit on your school district property taxes for your primary residence only. If you have misplaced your blank form, that is available on the assessment web page on the county website.
Thank you. Commissioner Webster?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to let everybody know that today, the 9th of January, is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And as you can imagine, looking at the outside, the law enforcement officers are probably quite busy today, keeping an eye on people that are sliding into each other and trying to help them out. Typically, though, it is a very difficult and thankless job. And I just, if you see somebody today that's an officer or retired officer or somebody who wants to be an officer, please encourage them and thank them for their hard work and their dedication to the citizens of the United States. Thank you.
Going last, everyone steals your thunder, so what they've said. Nicole, if you could go over the consent agenda, please.
Sure thing. Today's consent agenda is resolution number 17. That's the payment of the following 6 warrant lists as outlined in your agenda in item A. It's the ratification of the following 8 warrant lists outlined in item B. Ratification of total payroll for the check dated 12/29/23 in the total amount of $866,941.46. It's budget transfer in item D. Item E is a payment estimate 11 and estimate 12 for an ECMS submission approval for payment estimate 11 and estimate 12 in the amounts listed on your agenda. Those are received from Francis J. Palo. Those expenses are partially reimbursed through the roadmap funding, and those are for Bridge 70. For Human Resources, they are requesting the approval of one St. Francis University student intern, J.D. Litzinger, for the period of January 23rd, 2024 through April 30th, 2024. It's for 140 credit hours and at no cost to the county. We're going to start a very long list, as we always do this introductory meeting in January with the new board of boards and approvals to boards and authorities. I'll do my best with the names, so I apologize ahead of time to anyone that I might mispronounce. Agricultural Land Preservation Board is requesting approval for the appointment of Samuel Todd Lewis IV for a period of 1/1/24 through 1/1/26, filling the expired term of Palmer Brown. It's requesting the reappointment of John Black as chairman for the period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/24, and appointing Amy E. Webster as the commissioner representative on the board for a period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/24. To the Airport Authority, it's requesting approval for the appointment of Adam Conrad for a period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/28. This is filling the expired term of Benjamin Staplefeld Jr. Item I is appointments to the Children, Youth, and Families Advisory Board. This is requesting the reappointment of Stephanie Wolf from 1/1/24 through 12/31/26, and the appointments of Kathy Beatty, Jeff Colbert, Valerie Reynolds, Ashley Gavacco, Kyle Siskron Leonard from 1/1/24 through 12/31/26. To the Conservation District Board, it's requesting approval for the reappointment of Gary Long and James Biddle for a period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/27, and the appointment of Amy E. Webster as the Commissioner Representative to the Board for a period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/24. To the Hospital Authority, it's requesting approval for the appointment of Ron Beatty for a period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/27, filling the expired term of Justin Mandel. For the Library Systems Board, it's requesting approval for the appointment of Jackie Rule for the period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/26, filling the expired term of Nina Ormsby, and Eileen Conlin for the same period, filling the expired term of Tobias Noggle. The Blair County Social Services Advisory Board, it's requesting the approval for the reappointment of Donna Gordy, Matt Dom, and Michael Stubler for the period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/26, and requesting approval for the appointment of Kyle Siskron Leonard for the period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/26. That is filling the expired term of Robert Smith. It is also requesting the approval of for the appointment of Laura Burke as the Commissioner Representative to the Board per Act 66. Blair Health Choices Board, it's requesting approval for the resignation of Bruce R. Erb effective 1/9/24, and requesting the appointment of Laura Burke, filling the unexpired term of Bruce R. Erb through 6/30/26. To the Fort Roberdeau Association, it's requesting approval for the reappointment of Donna Kling, John Bollinger, Mike Kessling, Peter Fullen, and Tyler Rolls for the period of 1/1/24 through 12/31/26, and requesting approval of the resignation of Michael Kaysen effective 1/9/23, and requesting approval of the appointment of Helen Jean Sinell to fill the unexpired term of Mike Kaysen effective 1/9/24 through 12/31/25. Its employments, resignations, retirements, employment offer rescinded, and employee status change as outlined in item P, Q, R, S, and T of your consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolutions A through T as they were read.
I would, Commissioner Webster, I'll make that motion. Couldn't think of who I was.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Staff reports and special business, Department of Emergency Services, Sue Ammerman.
She's joining us by phone.
Okay. Sue?
Good afternoon. Requesting approval to amend resolution number 81-2023, dated February 14th, 2023, by removing the language in the amount not to exceed $2,800 for 1 year from the resolution originally approved, the service agreement between the County of Blair, the County 911 Center, and Ravine Industries for embroidering of the uniform shirts.
Okay. I'm sorry. Excuse me. What's that? Okay. Is she doing item I, double I? No.
She is, typically the chair would ask for any questions to go
Oh.
to Sue or any comments, any
Okay.
specific items.
Any comments or questions on that resolution or request? Okay, Sue?
Sue, do you want to go?
And item number 2, I'm sorry, Nicole, thank you for going between. Did they say something? Because I can't hear.
No, you can't, and that's why I'm trying to translate here, but no, go ahead to your second item. Thank you.
Thank you. Requesting approval for the extension of the 2020-2021 and the 2022 911 statewide interconnected funding grant agreements between the County of Blair, the Department of Emergency Services, and PEMA. All agreements have been extended through December 31st of 2024 for the purpose of reporting expenses and closing out the projects within the PEMA new web portal.
Any comments or questions for Sue?
The only comment I would have is that we're very appreciative that we received these funds and that we were able to complete the projects that they entail. It's been very helpful for the county.
Next, we'll listen from the prison, Jay Weitzel.
Good afternoon. I brought along Deputy Yadlowski with me. What we're requesting today is the approval of the bid specifications and the advertisement for the invitation to bid for food and non-food items in the Altoona Mirror on January 29th and February 2nd. The new contract period will be between March 1st and August 31st. So we're asking permission to place those bids in the Altoona, or those notifications in the Altoona Mirror requesting bids.
Okay. Anyone have any questions or comments for Deputy Weitzel?
So kind of more for the board. The action that is necessary in the county code is that you approve the bid specifications. Historically, we've always asked for the department to come and request the advertisement as well. So while you're correct in saying that, we want to run these ads on January 29th and February 2nd, I don't want it to be lost that you're also approving the bid specifications behind that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Any further questions? Thank you. Next, we'll hear from elections and Sarah.
Requesting approval and signature of 2 election polling place lease agreements between the County of Blair and property owners, municipal federal governments, and privately owned facilities for the April 23rd, 2024 primary election and the November 5th, 2024 presidential election.
Any comments or questions of Sue?
I do have a question, Sarah, and this, if you can't hear me, Nicole will translate. But this may be premature, but do you anticipate many changes from last election day?
I do not at this time.
All right, thank you. Social Services, Trina.
Good morning. We're requesting approval of four subrecipient agreements for our housing assistance program that's funded from our Pennsylvania Housing Affordability and Rehabilitation Enhancement Funds, our FAIR program. These are the funds that were awarded in our 22-23 award. We have four providers, Blair Health Choices in the amount of $10,000. This is our re-entry provider. Catholic Charities, this is our at-large provider at $10,000. This Catholic Charities also will fund a fuel bank with these funds. Center for Community Action Agency, again, an at-large provider in the amount of $10,000. And Family Services in the amount of $10,000. And these funds would be directed towards those shelter, coming out of their shelter facility.
Any questions or comments for Trina on this? Your second request, Trina?
Our second request is requesting approval to authorize Tricia Johnson as a designated signing authority for the CDBG and home contracts. This is, again, this is to provide separation of duties. I can authorize payments, but Trish, we need that secondary to actually submit the request onto DCED.
And again, any comments or questions of Trina while we have her? Okay. Public Works Highway, Paul is.
Paul is obviously busy.
Right.
He did ask me to take this one, and I don't mind doing that at all. So we are requesting approval to designate Keller Engineers as the county engineer of record for the year 2024 at the following hourly rates as outlined on your agenda. I will note, and in your agenda packets, you did get the comparison from 23 to 24. Several of the rates did go down, which is a delight, not something that we see every day in county government or hardly at all. I will mention as well, this is, while this is an hourly contract for the questions that come up on roads and bridges, we do try to, larger projects or specific projects, we do try to have a separate agreement with Keller Engineer, and you'll see those come before you. We've got a lot of open projects right now with Keller Engineer where we have a specific agreement for the specific project that we're working on. So this contract doesn't get touched a lot, but it does get touched when it's necessary. If for some reason Paul would have a question on a road or a bridge today, he's able to call Brian, get an expert opinion, and move from there under this contract, which is very helpful to the highway department.
Question I have is we're approving Keller Engineers. Do we bid this out every year, or do we just renew it, or how does that?
We don't typically bid this contract out. We have bid out engineering services in the past. We do have a federal designation as well as project-specific things that we could bid out. It's something that we can look at in the future if we want to talk about that as a board at some point.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether to call you Paul or.
You can call me Paul
Nicole.
until I get to G, and then you got to call me Nicole again.
Okay.
Okay.
For under Human Resources, I don't think that's Brian, but we'll take Sandy.
The weather has all kinds of people popping up and down in here.
Here I am. Requesting approval of amendment number 1 to the healthcare service agreement between People One Health and the County of Blair, which includes the following changes. A membership rate increase of $5 per employee per month to cover the cost of lab benefit enhancement. Changes to the payment period for invoices and switching from direct deposit to ACH for payment. Moving to a statement of work to streamline the amended process.
Okay. Anyone have any comments?
I do have a question, and I'm unfamiliar because I don't use the People One Health benefit, but does that $5 increase show up in people's paychecks, like timing-wise, or does the county pay that, or how does that work? So it'll come out of the county, from what I believe, it'll come out of the county portion of the cost. So that'll go up slightly, which is less expensive than the full Cigna network. So it's still under the threshold of what the typical health insurance would bring. So the People One does create a discount there still, even with the $5.
Any more questions, comments? Sandy?
Okay, I'm requesting approval for the 2024 PA County's Workers' Compensation Trust insurance renewal proposal in the total estimated contribution of $245,197 for the policy period of January 1st, 2024 through January 1st, 2025.
And again, any comments or questions? Sandy, while we have her on the spot. Thank you.
See, you're running. See, you're running now.
Under commissioners, I go back to Nicole.
Sure. Under the county's participation in the Alleghenies Broadband Inc. Board of Directors, we do have the opportunity. There is a county seat, so a seat specifically for a Blair County member, and the commissioners are able to put forth names as a suggestion to fill that board. In the past, what I think it's 3 years and 2 months or something of service, it's been Jim Foreman. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the time frame for sure. Jim Foreman has been our representative on the board. They did ask that we put forth a 3 additional names with that, and I'm not sure what your agenda says, but mine still has Amy on there. We have 2 good candidates. Amy has taken her name out. I asked each of you for a name, and Amy would like her name removed. So we do have Jim Foreman, Dave Snyder, and Grant Wills to put forward to serve on that board. And that is at the request of the Board of Directors. Then they will let us know who is chosen for the Blair County seat.
Okay, comments and questions for Nicole?
I will clarify, there are 2 Dave Snyders, and so it's the Dave Snyder from Tyrone.
Oh, thank you.
Good
Are
catch.
there 2 Grant Wills?
I think
don't know
I
if
think they
there's
have
2.
different middle initials, but I don't know the 2 middle
Okay.
initials off the top of my head.
I will make sure that the letters clarifying that as well.
Any old business? Hearing none, this concludes the meeting. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Thank you.